up to talk about Aaron Judge because right now he was the MLB home run leader if I'm not mistaken, and then today he's already hit two in their game against. I think they're playing Baltimore right now, if I'm not
They are,
mistaken.
yeah, yeah. Seems like they've been playing Baltimore for the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. But
lucky them.
Cole is on the bump. I think he had a bit of a rough start, but Judge is picking him up with two home runs. I think it's a close game. I think it's still going. But right now, yeah, Travis Judge. I'm gonna read off some stats real quick. Just some really, I guess, impressive and uh, things that kind of blew my mind. So this is a tweet from at Max Sports Studio. He tweeted, since April 13th, Aaron Judge has hit as many home runs, which is 17, as Oakland Athletics as a whole team combined. So the Oakland A's as a whole team, and that's obviously 1,185 more plate appearances that the team of Oakland has had than just Aaron Judge by himself.
Jeez.
But isn't that just nuts? Like 17 home runs each between like the
That's crazy.
one player and then a full-fledged American League roster.
Yeah, honestly.
And then just a bunch of other stuff too. Aaron Judge has, I think, 17 home runs in like 170 plate appearances. The Tigers have over 1,400 plate appearances this year, and they've only hit 21. So they've only hit four more. So it's
Crazy.
just really crazy how Aaron Judge's power surge right now, Travis, is really stacking up to whole team's production in terms of the power. It shows that the dead ball has not affected Aaron Judge one bit because he's just gonna mash no matter what. And so right now his offense is through the roof. He was one of the top like 5 OPS guys in the league, and then just today he's hit 2 home runs, so it's gonna go up by a ton.
Yeah.
So give me your thoughts on Judge. You know, he's really keeping his name in that MVP conversation with a guy like Trout, Ohtani. They're gonna be in the race. But give me your thoughts on Judge. Do you think this could be that year where the voters say, you know what, Yankees are the best team? This guy is having one of his best seasons ever. We didn't give him into in 2017 because Altuve had that batting title and the Astros were such a good team, but maybe this is his year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I feel like we're talking about him every single week, and rightfully so. I mean, what he's been doing so far this season is up there with Mike Trout, with Shohei Ohtani, with Taylor Ward. It'll be a very fun, I think, finish for the MVP. Right now, I think Trout really has more of the percentage stats just totally beat on him. But if you do lead, I think baseball and especially the AL in home runs, and you're on the Yankees and you're a first place team, and you're on the verge of Yankees winning 105 games this year, it gets really hard to beat a guy like that. So I definitely think that Judge is becoming almost not a clear front runner, but I do think that with what he's done so far this year and the team success, it really makes it hard not to vote for him, and especially with all the injuries he's gone through, to get a full, healthy Judge season just to have him finish second. It kind of seems like it'd be just a tough way to end that season and possibly end your Yankees career, because we do not know what's going to happen after this year. Cashman could be writing a really fat check pretty soon,
Right.
And he's probably happy and probably a little upset that Judge did not take his last offer, because he'll have to write something a lot bigger now if he wins the MVP, and especially has a season like this. So, I mean, just what a start it's been for Judge. Fingers crossed, of course, too, with the injury bug, because I know looking at seasons past, it is hard for this guy to stay on the field. Last year played 148 games, so of course had a really good season with being healthy all year, but we're only in May, almost in June, and nagging injuries sometimes pick up. You just hope it doesn't happen with this guy, because how special of a season he's having right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say besides the fact that he's one of the best hitters in baseball for sure. This is a good segue, Travis, into this other topic I wanted to bring up, and that is MLB doing their
Power hitters.
It's their. I'm trying to see exactly how they worded it. So they call it. This is 3 days ago they published this. So 3 days ago, it's called the Hitter Power Rankings.
Oh, that's right.
So as of May 20th, this is their Hitter Power Rankings. They ranked the 10 best hitters in baseball according to MLB. It says selected by the writers of MLB.com, so that makes some sense. But they did a vote, and this is who they came up with. So first, they have Aaron Judge as the best hitter in MLB right now. Second, Mike Trout. Third, Bryce Harper. Fourth, Taylor Ward. Fifth, Rafael Devers. Sixth, Paul Goldschmidt. Seventh, Mookie Betts. 8, Giancarlo Stanton. 9, Yordan Alvarez. And 10, Manny Machado. So overall, 10 great hitters, of course.
Of course.
And any sort of kind of picking between them is just kind of, kind of small, making tough decisions between good players. But
Yep.
I just think it's really difficult for me to figure out, I guess, the methodology, right? Because I'm all about consistency.
Yep.
When I look at a list like this, I want to see, okay, what was the criteria? What were you really focusing on when you're making these picks? And it just feels like it's kind of all over the place. So Mike Trout, if you really care about, I guess, the cumulative stats like home runs, RBIs, total bases, that kind of stuff, Judge will probably be leading Trout because he's played more games than almost positive, and then he's on the team with the better record, so that's going to help too.
And probably going to be batting third or fourth and having guys get on in front of him where, Trout's batting
for sure.
That'll first or second,
That'll help the RBIs a ton. But
and he's got a guy in front of him that, hits a lot of home runs too that, is not on base for him all the time as well. So
right, and so with all this in mind, Judge over Trout makes sense in that aspect, but by the percentage stats, Trout and Taylor Ward are the two best hitters in baseball by OPS right now. It's looking like before today is actually quite a bit of a gap. Taylor Ward is at a 1,194, Trout's at a 1,133, and the next best is Machado at a 1066. Judge is at a 1065, but Judge will be going up today. He will be above a 1.1. I'm not sure exactly where he'll end up. But this was published before his monster day today. So yeah, I mean, Judge will probably be first on there next week because he's getting better somehow this week over last. But yeah, give me your overall thoughts, I guess, on a list like this, and what do you think about just the way they kind of broke it down. Even guys like Mookie Betts is actually doing great, and he is an elite hitter, and he's actually on a really hot streak right now. But I don't think he's a top 10 hitter in baseball. I think he's a top 10 player because he brings so much else to in his package, right? So give me your thoughts on this list, I guess.
Yeah, I mean the top two, I saw Trout and Judge, and that's rightfully so. The top two, I mean, you could definitely make a case for a guy like Taylor Ward. I think that just with the baggage that Judge brings, you can definitely make a good case that he's going to be in the top two. So I'm fine with that. But down the list, I think he even said Goldschmidt in there in one of the spots. And
Goldschmidt is currently sixth in baseball before today in OPS. So he's so the OPS leaderboard includes almost all these guys except for no Judge. I don't see Alvarez. I don't see Betts. So there's a couple differences, but yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like we go through these power rankings. At least the power rankings I think have been getting a little bit more consistent, and I actually appreciate them. These ones, of course, will be, it's kind of hard to judge. I mean, it's kind of hard to judge when, Aaron Judge number one. But anyways,
good one.
But, I'll probably look at the top five and just really give my, main critique on those. And, I think right now, if you had a list, I would probably say Trout, Ward, and Judge are probably your top three.
Sure.
And you could put any order you want. I mean, honestly, if you want to put out a respect, you want to just put Judge because of the season he's on, that's fine. Mike Trout, I still think, is the best hitter right now in the game. If you had to take the best hitter, you had to take anyone right now in a draft, I'd probably go Mike Trout. You just know with the consistency year after year, and especially with this year as well. You could also go with a guy like Taylor Ward with the surprise, but I don't want to be down on Taylor Ward, but I think we all know that it will drop off soon. The 1.1939 OPS is not going to be.
No one will finish with that high.
No one will finish with that. I could possibly really see Trout honestly finish with a 1.1, but that would be honestly
it'd be pretty historic.
It'd be pretty historic, and it would be honestly just pretty insane. The OPS plus number would be probably just so stupid, over 200. And I don't know when the last time we had an over 200 player that was at the same level that Mike Trout is when it comes to the whole package. But that's probably my sense of the top three best hitters. Manny Machado too. I mean, what was he on that list? Number 10.
He was 10, and actually, he's the guy who I really wanted to. He was the one guy who I disagree with the most because I think he should be higher.
No, yeah, and I was going to say that too. I mean, right now he is he's third in MLB with OPS. So he is putting together all. I mean, right now he currently leads all of baseball with a 374 batting average, and then of course the on base and the slugging all is best in the NL. I mean, he's got so many bold italicized numbers right now. It's insane. Leads baseball with hits. I mean, he's a guy that honestly is on track, Alex, with I mean, we're probably looking at over 220 hits this year. And we talked about him a couple weeks ago with the 3,000 hits. He's probably the best case to hit 3,000 in the next 10 years or so. So he's putting together a historic season right now at Machado. And right now he is, in my opinion, the leader for the NL MVP. It's no doubt in my mind, 3.1 WAR. But getting back into the offense, when you look at a pure hitter, Manny Machado has to be in that top 5. And having him, I think, at number 10, definitely is a huge question mark.
I'm glad you say that. We completely agree. Machado has the batting title right now. He has the best on base and slugging in the NL, like you said. It is the best. It is second best in all of baseball on base, tied for fourth best in slugging all of baseball, third best all of baseball in OPS, and that is might get overtaken by Judge today, but like we said, this is from a few days ago. Hits leader, and then total bases, he's tied for third. So there's just no flaw in his offensive game right now. Exactly. He's hitting for contact. He's getting on base with walks. He's hitting for pops. So, and he's getting singles as well because the hits total is so high. So he is honestly picking up all the slack from Tatis not being there on the Padres team. He's, of course, the big reason why they're projected to be a playoff team this year, even without their best player. And he's kind of saying, hey, guys, don't worry. Like, I signed a big deal here. I'm going to keep showing up even when my homie Fernando is not going to be ready to go for, I'm not sure, maybe a few more weeks, maybe a couple months. I'm not 100%. But
and how fun is that? I mean, you have this guy going almost historic mode, and Tatis will jump right in June, and this lineup becomes that much deadlier. And
100%.
Just how good they've been so far for, I think today or a couple days ago, it was game number 40. So we're about a quarter of the way through the season so far right now, 40 games in. So, I mean, yeah, it's really spectacular to see what the Padres really hopes and dreams of becoming as a lineup, and we're seeing it right now. Once Tatis comes in and he gets back to Tatis form, that left side in baseball, Alex, is best right now in baseball with third and shortstop combo. So, I mean, it's just crazy what Machado's doing right now.
Yeah, we agree about that. Yeah, that's I think that's my best left side as well. We'll keep moving on to some other hot hitters in baseball right now. So this is a stat from today posted by MLB Stats. So it won't include today's game. Right now, the Dodgers are beating up on the Nationals, but to be expected, I'd say. But this is about Mookie Betts. So his last 10 games, Travis, he has 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. He's batting .357 with a 1283 OPS. A hitter that's on his level in a 10-game span, that's kind of something that's going to happen at some point. Another guy with a crazy hot streak right now is Paul Goldschmidt. This was also tweeted today. In the last 14 games, he has a 14-game hit streak with 4 homers, 18 RBIs, a .458 average, an .864 slugging, and a .1341 OPS. 2 of the hottest hitters in the National League this last week. I guess give me your thoughts on those guys, and I guess I mean, it's kind of these veterans who've been around for a while, and they're kind of saying we're still here, as well as Machado, also a veteran. So some of these guys are kind of saying, last season was all about the youngsters and like those, the 3 juniors and all that stuff. This year, it's really been, some of these familiar faces showing up. So any thoughts on that?
My only thought is I'm looking at these. I always look at, like the awards on some of these players when you go to their homepage for Baseball Reference. Mm-hmm. I mean, funny thing is Mookie Betts, I mean, much like the San Francisco Giants of the early 2010s. I mean, this guy just loves even years. I mean, I'm looking at 2016 top 2 finish in MVP. 2018 won the MVP. 2020 top 2 finish MVP. This year he's looking like an easily, could be an easy slam dunk for a top 5 MVP. So just funny that the trend is that Mookie Betts every single even year so far has been spectacular, and he's doing really good this year. It's funny, you even look at the OPS. It seems down, but you look at the OPS plus, and it's definitely up. With the baseball being down this year, with offense being down, it just proves that an 888 OPS right now is definitely 50 points above league average if you look at most other hitters. So, and of course, what you get from Mookie at the defensive level too. He's a spectacular all around player. And any lineup, any team right now is adoring to have a guy like that. But even at Goldschmidt, I mean, I think we saw him the first couple weeks of the season, and it was just, it wasn't even that pretty to even look at.
I think the first game he played, he was like 5 for 6 or something really impressive, and then he was like 0 for like a week straight, and I was like, oh my goodness. But then, he's totally picked up the slack, and he has asserted himself into, like, right now he's 6th in OPS in baseball. So,
and he's always been the guy that has just been the quiet underdog that just has these sneaky numbers.
Yep.
You look at the career numbers and they're great. You look at this season's numbers and you would just never know. A 342 batting average with a 409 on base, a 566 slugging for a 975 OPS. Just so under the radar that no one would even be talking about this guy. No one even pays attention to this guy. He's always been under the radar his whole entire career, even in Arizona, and it seems that way now with St. Louis. But what a turnaround right now. Leads all of MLB in doubles right now, and total bases too. He's up there almost at 90 points or 90 total bases on the season. That's up there with Aaron Judge level. So what a turnaround by him, and that offense for the Cardinals looks even better right now. So
presented by Tool Tools Podcast.